kept back by fraud. Giving all praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai B'Shem Kakodash. I'm going to try to make this quick. It's 3:32 a.m. And I just finished watching a video entitled China to Overtake the U.S. Sooner Than Expected. And I'll leave the link of the video in the description box. This was put up by Kaiser Report. I've been watching the Kaiser Report for years, and it's basically I used to watch it on the regular. I don't watch it as much as I used to, but this particular title, grabbed my eye, so to speak. It says, in this episode of the Kaiser Report, Max, which is Max Kaiser, he goes back as a young man to the Wall Street days. I don't know if he was a broker or whatever, but he was involved in the whole Wall Street stocks and bonds thing. Anyway, it says Max and Stacy look at a new report suggesting that China will overtake the U.S. economy. Now, it was said, I saw it somewhere else. I get into a lot of economic news, but somebody said it either was a documentary on YouTube, and everybody's getting the real information, the real news. I mean, you want to watch fake news, you watch the CNNs and the Foxes and the MSNBCs. They, that's not real news. The real news is on the web, mainly on YouTube. And when you come out with the truth, you have the YouTube police that will take your video down and block you from putting up videos, or eventually just take your page down. I get mad when that happens, but then again I get happy because I'm saying something, and I'm saying something that's hitting home. I'm surprised that they allowed this particular video to stay up, because Max and Stacy, they just go in. They go in on the U.S., comparing it to China. Because what it said, coming back to that article that I read somewhere else or got from a documentary, they said that China, and if I went to Google, I put the phrase China to overtake the U.S., I believe it was 2028, which is 7 years away. But now they're saying it's going to be a lot sooner. As the title said, China to overtake the U.S. sooner than expected, because they expect China to overtake the U.S. as far as the economy is concerned, and that's the blood of a nation. That's the life of a nation. It's economy. You can go back to the former USSR, the Soviet Union, when it collapsed. And now you have so many billionaires coming out of the former Soviet Union. There's a Chinese saying that goes, I'm not saying it word for word, but it has something to do with, in disaster, there's opportunity. The Rothschilds, or one of the Rothschilds, if anybody knows the quote, they can put it in the comment section. One of the Rothschilds said, it could have been Maya Rothschild, or Maya, I believe it's Maya Rothschild, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was the father of the five. He said, you want to buy when blood is flowing in the streets, which goes back to the Chinese proverb, from disaster comes opportunity. In other words, this is the time where you have the collapse. This is what these super rich, they love collapses, because this is an opportunity to buy. Because economies that go down will come back up. We will experience more of a Venezuelan. Well, what happened, or what's happening in Venezuela? Oh, and by the way, Maduro is the Venezuelan pound or dollar, their dollar, has gone to complete zero. So now what they're doing, I gotta keep my eyes on it. You guys that are into world economies, you know, it's not wars that really bring down a nation, it's the economy or the lack of the economy. That's how Rome fell. The denarii was devalued. You know, what the Caesars would do, they would, you know, the military would get paid in the form of coins, silver coins. Denarius, and what they would do is they would put inferior metals within the coin. So the military, I'm just using the Roman military, the legions, they would realize that their salary, and they got paid by salt as well, that's where you get the word salary, it didn't have the buying power. So you had a lot of military men that the loyalty that they had for the Roman governor or the Caesar, they were losing their loyalty. Because why? Because they wouldn't get, the money wasn't buying anything. And that was a part of the downfall of the Roman Empire. That's how Jake came in. Anyway, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me go into the scriptures. But before I do, I'm gonna make one more statement. I want to say one more thing. If you know anything about Bitcoin shot up in a matter of a month. Well, I remember about 3 months ago, Bitcoin was $11,000 per Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin came on the scene, they'll say 2011, it came on the scene 2010, and you know what it was worth? One Bitcoin was worth less than a penny. Let me get the information up. Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin price. Bitcoin is right now, January 8, as of January 8, 8:39 a.m., it was up, and it went past, I think it topped 40,000 per Bitcoin, which was less than a penny 10 plus years ago. It says Bitcoin 38,646.10 to the United States dollar. They compare it to the US dollar. Now on December 8th, exactly a month ago, it was 18,319. But when you go back to what will Bitcoin, I'm sorry, that's not what I want. I hope I can bring it up. I found it earlier, but I can't find it now. Here's one. Will Bitcoin ever die? The reward will continue to have every 4 years until the final Bitcoin has been mined. In actuality, the final Bitcoin is unlikely to be mined until, wow, around the year 2140. So we're talking another. So there's no stopping the Bitcoin. But if you ask me, should I buy? Should I invest in the Bitcoin? I say, hell no. What you should have did was you should have invested in it, if anything, back in 2010. If you had now it was 0.000008, which is less than a penny. So if you had invested a $1, one US dollar, one Federal Reserve note into Bitcoin, you would be that $1 that you invested, you would be what? You would be okay, you got 40,000 times 10 be 400. You'd be worth $4 million. $4 million. If you put $1 in back about 10 years ago. You know, my take on the Bitcoin is it's a bubble. It's a massive bubble. Anyway, let me get back into the subject. You know, let me go into the scriptures. And I told y'all before, you know, what I'll do is, let's say they send me a stimulus check. I'll get silver. I'll buy silver. Give me a $600 stimulus check. I never got one. For Nate saying that, yeah, you didn't turn away that stimulus. I never got one. And my woman got one. People around me I know got one. I didn't get one, and I ain't looking to get one. You can keep that. But if I was to have gotten $600 or $1,200 going back like 7-8 months ago, I would have put it right. I'd have put it right into silver or gold. Real money is silver and gold. The Bible's money, God's money, and that's I believe that's in Haggai, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I can look it up. Anybody knows what it is offhand, you can put it up. But I put it in another video. I put the scripture up. Or somebody asked me, where's the scripture on that? I believe it's Haggai, if I'm not mistaken, where it speaks about, I believe, gold being God's money. Well, that's real money. Gold and silver goes back to the beginning of money, or the beginning of time, which we're talking 6,000 plus years. Abraham's riches was based upon the cattle that he had and the gold and silver. And for you idiots out there that say, well, tithes has nothing to do with real money. You got to give them When you read Genesis 13 chapter, it said that Abraham, Abraham, or this Ephraimite, Woody Woodpecker looking guy said, Ibrahim, a Muslim we used to deal with back up in Connecticut. We liked the guy, but he was bugged out of his mind. But anyway, Abraham's riches was based upon the cattle that he had, the land that he had, and the gold and the silver. And he gave a tenth of all he had to Melchizedek, which is Yahweh Shai. That's another thing that goes over Christians, these dumbass, wacky-tacky Christians' heads. They don't, you want to mess a Christian up, go into Hebrews, the 7th chapter, dealing with Melchizedek, and just go have a conversation on Melchizedek, who's Melchizedek, where did he come from, what do you know about him? And they don't know. We're finding out Christians don't understand the scriptures, and they're secretly watching our videos to up their game as far as the scriptures are concerned. Anyway, let's go into the scriptures. First scripture came to mind was James 5, the 5th chapter, mainly, as a matter of fact, let me do this. Now, when you go to the Blue Letter, they have headlines. When you go to James, the 5th chapter, the 1st verse, it said, go to now, ye rich men. It's talking about the super rich, like the Jeff Bezoses and the Elon Musk. They said in the news, Elon Musk is now the richest man on the planet, which is complete. If you understand, well, if you know what we knew, he's a welfare case. Okay, he's not a multi-trillionaire, he's a multi-billionaire, which pretty much makes him a welfare case. He's a lower level, middle management guy. You have people out there that are worth trillions. Anyway, it says, go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl. The rich men are talking about the super rich of Esau, the elite. Weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. And what is the miseries that's going to come upon you? Revelation 18 chapter, which is one of my favorite chapters. Now I'm going to jump down. Now, you know what? This is one of my favorite chapters too. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and your silver, which is real money, is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you. See, we know that you're going down based upon your economy, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. The fire is talking about the nuclear fire from the missiles and the lasers that's going to come out of the ships of Yahweh Shai and the angels. You have heaped treasure together for the last days. Are we in the last days? Yes, we are. We're in the last days. The Most High could take this place out inside of this year, 2021. It said, behold, the hire of the laborers, your workers, which are Israelites and other nations, who have reaped down your fields, meaning have went out into the workplace, which is of you kept back by fraud. That's why people are always asking for raises, because the value of the dollar keeps going down. That's why in New York they're asking for $15 an hour. And $15 an hour, really, at one time, if you go back maybe 20, 30 years, $15 an hour was pretty good. But $15 an hour, you got to work, your wife got to work. You might have to work 2 jobs. She got to work 2 jobs. The kids got to work. There was one time where we're talking about after World War II, go out work, and the wife stayed home. The husband made enough money to pay all the bills and able to put money in the bank. That was the height of America, Babylon. Another scripture come to mind is Isaiah, the 47th chapter, which I'm not going to read. It says, and the cries of them which have reaped, which went out there and worked, they're realizing they did all that overtime, their wife did all that overtime, you on your second job or your third job. You're struggling with certain things. It said that reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Sabaoth means armies or troops. It says, 5th verse, ye have lived in pleasure, that's the super rich on the earth, and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. Slaughter meaning like a cookout. Like you know, you have the day off, you got money, you're doing good. You have a cookout. So you go to the supermarket, you buy the meat and whatever else. But back then, you had servants actually kill the goat or kill the lamb or the sheep and prepare the meal. So that meal that you're eating, that lamb that you're eating was walking around maybe 2-3 hours earlier. So that meat is fresh. It says, ye have condemned and killed the just. The just are the Israelites. And he doeth not resist you. And that's Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. There'll be no might in thine hand. So now we're coming up and you're coming down. Now it says in the headline, it says, misuse of riches, because you defrauded the people. So now if you go to, you know what I'm gonna do? Where is it? Okay, let me go back to James 5 and 4 in the middle. It says, which is of you kept back by fraud. Now, people still don't understand what is meant by, if I read the scripture to them, they wouldn't equate this to what's happening now. See, that stimulus check that you're getting is the worst thing that can happen to you, because that's going to weaken the FRN, the Federal Reserve note. So there's going to be a time where more Jakes are going to watch the Hebrew Israelite brothers out there, not just GMS, and they're going to start calling on the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And they're going to pray that the Most High help them. And if your eyes are really open, you're going to pray that the Most High destroy the man in the power seat, which are the Edomites. It said, cries, and the cries of them which have reaped. The reason why the Most High is not coming to your aid, because you're not calling on him. You're calling on Jesus. And that's why IUIC is going to be broken up. That's why the ISUPK is going to be broken up. Here you got Yohana. He's laying low right now. Yohana made a stupid statement. Go ahead and take it. And Jake just tore into his ass. Hey, the scripture said, never trust thine enemies. Look up the word never. Makes me think about the song, Andre 3000 and Big Boy, what's the name of the damn group? Put in the description box, I can't think of it. But there was a lyric, sorry, Miss Jackson, and he said, forever, forever, ever. Well, apply that to for never. Because the scriptures say, never trust thine enemies. That means never, ever trust them. No matter what he says, there's something behind it. Anyway, so when you go look up the word fraud, when you look up the word fraud,
Strong's G 650, apostereo. Apostereo.
Apostereo, which means to defraud, rob, despoil. Defraud, destitute, keep back by fraud. To defraud, rob, despoil. To allow oneself to be defrauded. See, Jake doesn't even realize they're being defrauded. You know, the man bringing the office, I'm going to give you a raise. I'm going to give you another $5 an hour. You're going to be all happy, and then you're going to realize that little extra $5 ain't helping. You might have needed a $25 raise. Because the U.S. dollar, the Federal Reserve note, is losing value every day. It's going back. It's going the way of Venezuela or Argentina, or the Weimar Republic. To deprive one of a thing, and how are they depriving you? By what? They're depriving you of real money. To defraud of a thing. To withdraw or keep back a thing by fraud. And that's what they're doing. And Jake still doesn't understand. Now, when you go to 1 Corinthians 7, verse 5, it says, defraud ye not one the other. Meaning, when you and your woman get together, if you're going to fast and pray, you're not going to have sex with each other. But it says the word defraud also means to keep back, meaning sex. It says except it be with consent for a time. In other words, you're going to fast and pray. You're not going to have, y'all decide you're not going to have a believing man and a believing woman. They're going to fast and pray for a week. So they make an agreement not to have sex with each other, to get closer to the spirit, the Most High, the Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. But if you do it too long, then you're gonna run into problems. So really, defraud means keep back. It says 1 Timothy 6 verse 5, perverse disputing of men of corrupt minds, as Esau, the super rich, and destitute, kept back of the truth. They don't have the truth because they don't realize that this place is going to be destroyed and they're going into slavery. They know it, but they don't realize it because they're trying to upset the prophecies. Supposing that gain is godliness, from such withdraw thyself. So the precept takes you right back to James 5 verse 4. And it said that them that are kept back by fraud crieth, and the cry. See, Jake ain't crying yet. When they can't get to their victuals, they're gonna start crying. They were talking about this eviction thing, and Esau set up a moratorium saying you don't got to pay rent. That's a complete dictatorship. This place is done. Please watch the Kaiser report, the video. China to overtake the U.S. sooner than expected. So this place is done. Hey, the only thing left is what? The mark of the beast and the destruction. And then the kingdom. Now, you know what I want to do? Let me go to Deuteronomy 24, verse 15. At this day thou shalt give him his hire, neither, and you got paid day to day. Like what I do Uber, I get paid day to day. I bust my ass. Like today I was out there pretty much all day. And they tell you what you're gonna get paid. It goes into your account. It says, neither shall the sun go down upon it. For he is poor and setteth his heart upon it, lest he cry against thee unto the Lord, and it be sin unto thee. So when you cry to the Most High for not receiving your wages or for being defrauded, it becomes sin unto the one that's supposed to give it to you. Ultimately, is the super rich. See, they can change America overnight and make it prosperous overnight. They can make America great again, but they're not going to do that because of greed. Anyway, where the hell am I? I'm a little all over the place. Oh yeah, I wanted to go into Habakkuk. Habakkuk 2, you can start from the top. And this is, you got to read this whole chapter, but I'm going to go right to the point. I'll start at the 4th verse. Habakkuk 2, verse 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just, the Israelites, the just was also mentioned in James, the 5th chapter, 5, James 5, the just, they have killed the just, and so the just is another word for Israelites. The righteous shall live by his faith. And who's living by their faith? The elect. The ones whose eyes are open. Yet also, because he transgresses by wine, which is philosophies, why is wine a philosophy? Because when you drink wine, it changes your mind. Your state of mind changes. You get with some chick that don't look good, you have a couple of drinks, she begin to start looking good until the liquor wears off. So that's philosophies, man. It says, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. He's all over the place. There's estimated over 800 U.S. military bases around the world. And anytime they have a base in another country, guess what? That's an occupation. A Roman Empire all over again. Who enlarges his desire as hell meaning death, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, one world system, and heapeth unto him all people, one world order. Shall not all these take up? All these are talking about these nations, starting with the Israelites. They're going to start raising hell, including these Edomites. The Edomites went down there to D.C., which I believe that was all a pre-planned setup. And that's called a distraction. That's all it is. See, people are not talking about the economy. They're not talking about the national debt. And a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. Everything you got outside of Petra or Mount Seir is not yours. You stole. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And clay, the word clay, is the Hebrew word ibatyat, which means depth. Ibatyat means weight of pledges, heavy debt. So this country is in heavy debt, and that's why China will overtake the U.S. And that's why China is going to be the main country that's going to cry because of what's going to happen to America. Because they're not going to make the money that they make, because America is the biggest consumers out there. That's why they created loans and credit cards, because people don't have the money, so they use the hell out of their credit cards. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.